Chrysler building, an Art Deco
Classic.
piece of magnificence.
Classic.
Completed in 1930. At the time, was the tallest building in the world.
Until
11 months later when they finished the Empire State Building.
Well, yeah, King Kong tried to take care of that for him.
He would have had trouble balancing himself in the Chrysler building.
I think so.
Because, you know, they've got those arches up top. No score as we go to the bottom of the second. Jeff McNeil leads off against Jacob Misiorowski, who threw 20 pitches in the first inning. Only 11 of them for strikes. And the first pitch slider fouled off, 0-1. McNeil 0 for 2 in the opener today. It'll be McNeil, then Taylor and Baty for the Mets in the second. Mets were pretty patient with Misiorowski in the first inning. But, you know, McNeil likes to go up there hacking.
Well, a guy throwing this hard that throws as many fastballs as he does, go up there swinging the bat, looking for that fastball.
Fastball outside. Well, it's clear that the adrenaline has worn off. 102 is now 97. Neal fouls off the slider, and it's 1-2.
He really, from the stretch, he pitches from the stretch. He really holds at the belt for a long period of time. He's already been called for a time violation.
One-two coming to McNeil. It's too high. At least the lefties have a chance against him. The righties, with Alonso's strikeout in the first inning, are now 1 for 30 against Misiorowski in his brief big league career.
First base side of the line, Gary. Very extreme the mound, excuse me.
He'll try to inside out one and fouls it off. 2-2.
6'7", 197 pounds.
Slap to third. Backing off is Siegler to play the hop. And the throw is true. One away. Your Spectrum high-speed pitching. Those are the average velocities for Misiorowski.
Yep, I got fooled with that 92.4 with that changeup.
You know, not only is he 6'7", but he gets an incredible extension down the mound. They say his extension, the point at which he releases the ball, is 7 feet 7 inches in front of the rubber. That is among the largest extension of any pitcher in baseball, and that makes his effective velocity, what it looks like to the hitter, that much greater.
That's what J.R. was. J.R. Richards, Gary, in our day, the Houston Astros great pitcher, was 6'8".
The blooper by Taylor, that'll go foul. The average pitcher extension is 6 feet 5 inches. He's 7 feet 7 inches down the hill. So that's an extra 14 inches closer to the plate than the average that he releases the ball. You know, they've talked about moving the mound back a foot or two to try and make things easier for the hitters. Well, it's almost as though the mound is a foot or two closer to the plate for Misiorowski than it is for the average pitcher. Taylor pops one up into shallow right. Frelick gambling in. 2 out.
Nice. Well, watch the stride here. That's a big stride. But JR used to do that. JR was dropping drive right over the top. This kid's more 3/4 and whips the ball in there with his long arms.
2 out and nobody on for Brett Baty, who went 0 for 2 with a sac fly in the first game. And he takes a fastball up and away.
Pretty basic windup. Oh, actually, from the belt motion.
Like a tarantula coming toward you.
Well,
This is with a curveball, and it's 2-0.
he'd get me out then. I do not like any kind of spider type creatures.
Well, he's not chasing you. Baty fouls off the fastball, 2-1.
And I love the emblem on the Brewer hat. I think it's the most clever hat ever. Clever emblem ever designed in Major League Baseball.
You mean the MB?
Yep.
That's really a glove?
Yep. I think it's fabulous.
You know, the Montreal Expos emblem was pretty ingenious, too. The M, which also said EB, Expos Baseball, in the middle of it.
I did not know that.
2-2. Up and away with the changeup, and it's 3-2 to Baty. So Mets are being patient with Mizorowski, as they were with Peralta early in the game in Game 1 today. Forced his pitch count up, and Baty works out a walk. Second straight inning that Mizorowski has given up a 2-out walk. Born in Blue Springs, Missouri, went to Crowder Junior College in Missouri.
Green Valley High School. There was second round, I should say, in the 2022 draft.
Here's Ronny Mauricio. 6 hits in his last 17 at bats, and he takes a slider well inside for ball 1. Mauricio hitting .224 overall, but .275 as a left-hand batter with all 3 of his home runs from this side of the plate. Mizorowski's given up 1 home run through his first 3 starts. With that fastball upstairs, and it's fouled back, 1-1.
Yeah, that home run he gave up, Gary, is the only blemish. The only 2 runs he's given up so far in his 3 starts.
That was the first hit he allowed, was that 2-run homer against the Twins.
Twins, yes.
This is away with a fastball to Mauricio, 2 balls and a strike. So the Mets have clearly come into this game with the game plan of making Mizorowski throw some strikes.
Well, he's not really fine-tuned right now. He's missing.
Baty at first with 2 out. And then Mauricio takes that changeup down, and Haas had trouble controlling it. 3-1. Hayden Senger, the number 9 hitter, would be next. Mizorowski threw just 74 pitches in his last start. That was last Wednesday against the Pirates when he outpitched Paul Skeens. Very hard to have a great pickoff move when you're a 6'7" right-hander. He's behind on Mauricio, 3-1. And Ronny takes a borderline strike, 3-2. So now Hoskins is going to play behind Baty at first base. Brett will be running on 3-2. And Mauricio takes ball 4. Fastball just missed. So back-to-back 2-out walks issued by Mizorowski.
That's going to get a visit from the pitching coach. And that would be Chris Hook.
Captain. By the way, we told you about Lindor being voted in as the starting shortstop in the National League. The rest of the infield, Freddie Freeman, Ketel Marte, Manny Machado, and the catcher Will Smith voted in by the fans.
Will Smith leading the league in hitting
And a great story in the American League. Javi Baez is going to be a starting outfielder for the American League. He will become the first player in history ever to be voted in as a starting shortstop and a starting outfielder in his career. What a comeback season for Javi. He just was in the depths the last few years. So now Hayden Senger will bat with 2 out and 2 on, looking for his first big league RBI. So 37 at bats. This is his 13th start. By the way, Francisco Alvarez had another home run today for Syracuse. Ground ball off the glove of Mazeroski, but right to the bag. Turang can't pick it up, and everybody's safe.
Oh, wow.
Turang was trying to stay on the bag and reach for the ball at the same time, but he couldn't snag it, and Senger's got an infield hit.
Well, he couldn't foresee the carom off the ground. I mean, he played it correctly, but it got some sidewinding spin. Watch the bounce. You can't anticipate that.
Would have been a force play had he been able to hang on, but he couldn't. And now Nimmo with the bases loaded, crashes one to deep right field, back toward the corner. Frelick goes back at the wall, and it's out of here! Brandon Nimmo with a grand slam! As big a hit as the Mets have had all season, Brandon Nimmo hitting leadoff for just the 3rd time this year. Crashes a grand slam to give the Mets a 4-0 lead in the 2nd inning.
Maybe they got the break with that bounce off the bat of Senger. Maybe that's the break they need. Good.
For Nimmo, his 2nd grand slam this year, the 3rd of his career, and the Mets have a 4-0 lead. Now Lindor pops one foul.
Well, he's going to throw that old four-seamer. Little cutter.
He hit it a mile high. Had to wait for it to come down to see if it would go, and it did. It had legs. 16 home runs now for Nimmo. And boy, did this team need that. Andrews shakes up the top of his lineup, puts Nimmo in that spot, and sure enough, he makes it pay off. Mazeroski had retired the first 2 batters in the inning, but he walked the 7 and 8 hitters, Batty and Mauricio. That's got a little bit of a break on the Senger infield hit, and Nimmo cashes in 4.
Well, that's just an understatement. That's a huge hit right there.
And Mets home run means City will donate $2,000 to No Kid Hungry to help the 1 in 5 kids in America facing hunger right now. Lindor smacks one to deep right center. Back goes Frelick to the warning track. Back at the wall. It's out of here! Nimmo and Lindor, 1-2 in the order. They go back to back. 5-0 New York. Like a breath of fresh air. Number 17 for Lindor. I told you he liked DHing.
Yes. Amazing. 1 game difference, not even 24-hour difference, just a flip-flop of the lineup. And look what happens. The shot in the arm this club just may have received and needed.
Still very early in this game, and the Mets have to deal with getting the hot Brewers team out for the next 7 innings. But man, did they need these 5 runs.
Oh my gosh.
And now Soto pops one up into left field. This one will stay in the ballpark. And Yelich is there to grab it. That retires the side. But after 2 out and nobody on, the Mets load him up. Nimmo unloads him, and Lindor goes back to back.